Welcome to part 2 of December's In Case You Missed It. If you missed part 1, it's available now on YouTube, or you can listen to the complete pod on SoundCloud. Just search for Vast-Cast.
Next up, we bring you some strategic spotlights. These are about some of the more substantial programmes and projects that are just getting going or beginning to make waves in the city, and sometimes beyond. It's worth knowing that we do tend to give these projects more airtime and do them more justice at forums like VISVOG, or Voluntary Sector Chief Officers Group, and Healthy Communities Alliance. Bottom line is, there's really no substitute for a proper lowdown, but here's a quick whiz through what's new and what's gathering pace.
Here in Stoke, our new VCSE City Alliance is a written understanding between the VCSE sector and City Council, setting out how we will cooperate and create resilient, thriving communities for the citizens of Stoke-on-Trent. The agreement was signed back on the 6th of December by representatives from both VAST and the City Council, and we're really excited by its potential to ignite the relationship between our sectors. Over the coming months, we'll be working with the City on a series of sessions and workshops around challenges like commissioning and procurement, but the starting point is to better understand how well our relationship currently works and how it feels to you. So if you'd like to play your part in how we move forward together, there's a link to both the agreement and the survey in the show notes. That link gives you the opportunity to register your support for the principles, get yourself in the loop for some of the upcoming activities. So please do get behind it. There's no cost to your organisation, and the opportunity is really there to get involved as little or as much as you are able to. In the end, we'd hate for local VCSEs to miss out, so find out more on our website and in the show notes.
Here's some food for thought. Through 2024, YMCA, North Staffordshire, Stoke-on-Trent City Council and VAST have been working with lots of local partners to develop a new food partnership for the city. The network has been gathering pace as it strives to tackle the 3 themes of availability, affordability and sustainability. We said in our last podcast that the partnership was open to applications for the position of chair, vice chair and steering group members. Last Friday, the partnership met at Stoke-on-Trent College and elected a new committee of 8 to take the partnership forward into 2025. Our congratulations go out to Danny Flynn of the YMCA, Chris Cohen of Feasted, Sarah Sandbrooks of the Alice Charity, who will jointly chair the initiative, along with Tom Beecham of the Hub Foundation, Alistair Fisher of Stoke-on-Trent City Council, Lisa Healings of VAST, Paula Radcliffe of Birches Head Get Growing, and Godfrey Stemenega of Asher, who together make up the steering group. It's looking like a really strong group with a wide range of skills and backgrounds. Next year, there will be lots of network meetings, as well as working groups across a range of key themes, so it's definitely not too late to get involved. We at VAST will make sure the dates are advertised as soon as we have them, and we'll maybe get one of the co-chairs on the podcast to help tell us all about it too.
Now, before we move on, you may have heard us mention Staffordshire and Stoke-on-Trent's VCSE Healthy Communities Alliance just a few moments ago. This is something we jointly facilitate with our colleagues at Support Staffordshire and with a range of VCSE reps. First of all, it's not to be confused with the VCSE City Alliance, it's just that alliances are kind of fashionable right now. But if you're a VCSE working in Stoke-on-Trent and your work touches the health and well-being of our communities, then this is for you, and it's all about collaboration. The Alliance offers a recognised platform for community organisations to engage with the local health and care system, and members come together in thematic and geographical forums to consult each other and to influence local developments. For example, we've got a forum for mental health, another one for children and families, and another for Stoke-on-Trent and for North Staffordshire. It's free, there's no cost, and information about how to get involved is in the show notes.
One really useful thing about the Healthy Communities Alliance is that when you become a member, you get access to the Basecamp platform, which is another great way to find out about the things it's easy to miss. For example, Tom, I've just found out about an app called Weightless, which does exactly what it says on the tin, but rather than being a weight loss app, it actually tells you the current waiting time, queue numbers and travel time at urgent care facilities in Staffordshire and Stoke-on-Trent, so that you can make an informed decision about where you go when you're facing an emergency.
I didn't actually know that before today. Simple but powerful, and I can think of so many ways in which that could be useful to VCSE colleagues in their work and for their clients and their service users. And when I logged onto Basecamp myself, I also found out about MPFT's Winter Wellness Toolkit, which is another great resource. It goes really nicely with VAST's own winter cost of living toolkit, which itself supports VCSEs to share seasonal help to the best possible effect on social media.
So true. Links in the show notes?
Absolutely. Links are in the show notes. This month, there are some new opportunities to shape the work of our colleagues in local government and health. These are our chances as a sector to both feed in our own views and insights and to make sure that our communities and beneficiaries can also be heard as new initiatives take shape and as decisions are made.
Hot on the heels of Lord Darcy's recent report into the current state of the NHS, the government is working on a new 10-year plan. The NHS is still inviting individuals and organisations to share their experiences of using the NHS services and to put forward their ideas of how services can be improved. The links are in the show notes.
Back in the city, Stoke-on-Trent City Council is currently reviewing its all-age carer strategy, and it's particularly interested in understanding the views of carers. The links are in the show notes.
Our Integrated Care Board has recently published their Adult Mental Health Inpatient Services Strategy, which now runs until 2027. They would like to hear your views, with a survey open on their website until the 14th of March 2025. Again, links are in the show notes.
Last but definitely not least, Staffordshire and Stoke-on-Trent's integrated care system is looking for adults with Down syndrome to come together to talk about health, social care, education, housing and employment in Staffordshire and Stoke-on-Trent. The group will focus on what's working and on the changes they would like to see. They plan to meet every few months with professionals from the NHS and local authorities, and they're being led by Ed Daly, a young man from Staffordshire with Down syndrome, together with Karen Webb, who's one of the key people leading on learning disabilities and autism at Staffordshire and Stoke-on-Trent ICB. We know that January is a quieter time of year, but there are a few fresh dates for your diary coming up. Do check the VAST bulletins and website for the very latest training and networks, which include the health literacy training we offer on the 15th of January and the Healthy Communities Alliance Stoke-on-Trent and North Staffordshire Forum on the 4th of February.
There's a list of VAST's in-house training and events opportunities on our website, and it's updated regularly. In fact, we do have one more key date for your diary in early 2025. Our very own Totally Stoke conference is taking place on the 12th of February at Vale Park, and we'll explore the theme, Communities Know, Communities Best. We'll be looking at inclusive community engagement, partnerships for sustainable development, identifying and maximising community assets, and building resilience in communities. In short, we'll be looking at how to bring some of those asset-based collaborative themes closer to becoming a reality.
Huge thanks for sticking with us during our slalom through the end of year news. We've reached the point in the podcast where we give the floor to somebody who's working hard locally to make change real.
Since we've told you about the VCSE City Alliance, this month we're really pleased to introduce Shelley Brough, Director of All Age Commissioning at Stoke-on-Trent City Council, who we're looking forward to working with in 2025, and whose team will be working with us here at VAST to offer several workshops about how commissioning might look in the future.
Now, we know that the word commissioning can sound quite scary, so we asked Shelley to tell us what it means to her, and particularly to share her reflections about the potential it has to impact lives when it's at its best. We've included a short segment from the conversation here on the podcast, but actually we loved what Shelley had to say so much that we've edited a longer version for anyone who would like to hear more, and there's a link to that in the show notes.
Hi, I'm Shelley Brough. I'm the Director of All Age Commissioning at Stoke-on-Trent City Council. I've had quite a long career in commissioning and different levels of experience at all sorts of areas, from public health, adult social care, children's social care, but also at different levels, working directly as a commissioner and now as a director of commissioner from a strategic perspective. If I was to be asked sort of the exam question around what is commissioning, to give you the boring sort of very quick and simple answer, it would be the sort of planning of services, purchasing of services and monitoring and evaluation of services. I think commissioning at its best is always focused on outcomes and people. how we make a difference, and putting people at the centre of our commissioning as really commissioning at its best. I think I'm passionate about commissioning because I can really see the difference that commissioning can make to individuals. I think when people think about commissioning, they think about it it's a contractual relationship. It's about procurement and tender processes. For me, it's not. It's about how we can collectively, in partnership, improve outcomes for individuals, and that's something that I'm really passionate about.
Wrapping up our City Alliance spotlight from earlier in the podcast, we also asked VAST's very own Lisa Healings and Councillor Jane Ashworth, leader of Stoke-on-Trent City Council, to outline what the new agreement means for the city.
Hi, I'm Lisa Healings, Chief Executive at VAST. I think the City Alliance is a fantastic development for our city. At a time when funding is stretched for everybody, including statutory bodies, the only way we can make things happen for our communities is to do it together. And by working together under the principles of the agreement, we can improve lives for those in our communities and ensure that we all work together to do the best for everybody and bring people along on the journey with us. It's a really good opportunity for us to show that we really do value the contributions that everybody's got to give under the principles contained within the agreement.
It's really important that the City Council can work with our voluntary sector properly. Spirit of partnership, spirit of equality. There is no reason in the world why a City Council should consider itself to be better positioned, to be better organised than the voluntary sector. We respect the voluntary sector's capacities. We know what they're good at. We know what you're good at. We understand how you can develop and transform our city, and that's very important to us. So we hope we'll be able to go forward with open hands, with honesty and trust, and develop an improved relationship.
Last but not least, in the coming months, we'd really love to welcome guest hosts in case you missed it, and to offer a short segment for our members and partners to talk briefly about something you're working on or developing. We'd love it to be a bit less us and a bit more you, so please do get in touch if you'd like to join us.
Sadly, we've come to the end. How did the show land for you? We'd love to hear just a little bit of feedback on how we can improve the podcast for you, and there's a feedback form in the show notes. We'll be back in January, but in the meantime, please do bookmark our socials, and we'll do our very best to keep you across sector goings on in the meantime. But for now, it's bye from me, and a very happy Christmas to all our listeners.
And it's thanks and goodbye from me. Do have a wonderful Christmas.